Audio speeding. Roll camera. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Walk up, teaser, take one.
Hey everybody, I am Adam Seligman from AWS. I've got something really special that I want to show you. Now we are right here in San Francisco. This is the AWS Gen AI Loft. We have like dozens and dozens of meetups and community developer events in here, but we're doing something different today. And we are turning it into this beautiful studio. And we're launching a new show called the Roundup. And we're gonna share all the latest and greatest from the developer community, from AWS and our partners and open source, and share some cool new technologies with you. So welcome to the Roundup. It's our first episode. We hope you have a great time. Here we go. Hi everybody, my name is Adam Seligman, and we've got something really fun for you today. This is our new show, The Roundup, shot right here in San Francisco. And we're gonna bring you everything new with AWS, everything that's cool for developers in the world of open source and beyond. And I'm super excited to kick off this first episode with my good friend, Darko.
Hello, Adam. Thank you so much. Hey, friends. My name is Darko. I'm what they call these days a developer advocate. That means I get to talk to you, developers, about anything and everything in the world of tech. And Adam, I think I have a couple things today to show you, hopefully impressing, hopefully useful, and hopefully you folks are going to tell us in the chat what you want to see in the future.
Well, you were teaching me Rust in the wind-up, which I thought was pretty good. But we're not starting up at the app layer, right? We're starting out in infrastructure. And you are a fan of the CDK, and you said there was news in CDK land.
Absolutely. CDK is very important, right? Infrastructure as code, right? Click less, code more. So we're going to show you something.
Well, and make sure nobody changes on you with their clicks, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So CDK is part of the AWS Infrastructure as Code family, so Cloud Development Kit. And what we've introduced right now is the AWS Construct Factories, which gives builders yourselves, the ability to create some specific resources on AWS that are well architected.
Boy, but CDK already creates resources. Like, I know that. So what exactly is new here?
So the new thing here is that when you create a well architected bucket from a special factory, it means the bucket comes with all of the really good defaults. So it comes with encryption, comes with versioning. It even comes with a second bucket that's used for logging.
Ah, got it. So it's beyond just saying defaults. Okay.
There's a lot of little different elements to make your bucket well architected. So
Yeah.
this is what kind of makes it do it. And the construct factories actually support S3 buckets, step functions, and the SQs.
Okay, show me.
Let me show you. So quickly, what I have here set up is a very basic or simple CDK file with nothing created right now. As you can see here on line 10, const bucket is creating a new bucket using the factories import. And you can see you can do S3 bucket, SQS2, and a state machine. So I'm going to do a S3 bucket factory, give it a thing, call it bucket, and then give it, I'm not going to pass any parameters into it.
And so that's just the name and then nothing special.
Nothing special.
But out of that, I'm going to get well-architected infrastructure.
Absolutely. So if I go ahead and just deploy it, you're going to see at the end of this, you're going to not have one bucket, but two buckets. It's not just creating a single resource, it's creating everything that needs for this specific resource to be properly well-architected.
Yeah, and so, well-architected, a lot of developers know what it is. Not everybody knows all of it, but this is like a faster path to that, to those best practices.
Absolutely. And it works perfectly with your existing CDK code, so there's no need for you to all of a sudden refactor everything and remove stuff and do something weird. Install a single package, add this thing to your code, boom.
Well, not everybody uses the CDK, so we should remind everybody that it's open source. It's a great way to automate your infrastructure.
Yeah, absolutely. It's open source. It's available. The link is going to be actually in the description. You can contribute to the project. You can also, more importantly, contribute to level 3 constructs. There's something called a construct hub where you can go ahead and add your own implementations of different elements on the construct hub. So definitely a good thing.
All right, so construct factories live now. That's pretty awesome.
Amazing.
And I'm going to move us on. We've got something new I want to cover: generative AI and learning it. So we've got something new, a deep learning AI course, brand new, that developers can use to get in and catch up on all the latest and greatest in generative AI. And in particular for this release, I think this is one of the hottest areas in tech right now: agentic systems.
I think that's a key thing, because agentic systems are one of those things that make make your chatbots or make generative AI more than just a chatbot.
It's not just about chatbots. I mean, that's what's been most amazing on this journey for me, is putting together agentic systems that can kind of treat it like a human on the team and give it a piece of work and then send it away and have it go off and reason about it and evaluate its own work and find ways to improve it. It's a really exciting new space we're in.
It is important, and like I think one of those things that definitely sets your applications apart if you build it with this. So now our friend, Mike Chambers, has created a learning course on Deeplearning.ai where you can enroll for free right now, and you can go learn about all of these things. It's not just about watching Mike talk to you about agentic workflows. It's a practical course where you can actually have hands-on experience in those.
Wait, hands-on like labs? Like you get
labs.
in and labs for free?
Yep, for free.
Wow,
Yep,
that's pretty cool.
It's around like 1.5 hours, so it's not a big, long lesson, but it's gonna give you enough hands-on experience for you to try new things out. And
yeah. And I know there's a lot of subtlety in that, but your RAG is hard, guardrails are hard, but really important. And I assume it builds on Bedrock.
Yeah, it's all there. So if you want to go check it out, definitely links again in the description below.
Deeplearning.ai.
Deeplearning.ai.
And I hope lots of you will try that out. And I want to hear your feedback on that. Put it down in the comments and let us know what you think of the new Agentic Systems Generative AI Deeplearning.ai course. Now, you're also probably saying, well, that agentic AI stuff, that's cool. It's kind of in the future. What can I do with agentic AI right now? And that's where Q Developer Tool comes in. Q is something that every developer can install on their IDE and start hacking away and get generative AI help with everything they do, from expert assistance to writing codes to fully autonomous agents. Now, there's a neat new feature that really changes the actual tactile DX of this product. And Darko, what's coming out right now from the Q team?
So this thing is coming out in beta right now, and it's a fantastic little feature. Let me show you. It is inline chat, right? In Q, you...
Inline's coding, chat is on the side. What is this?
Let me show you. Inline chat. So usually the way you do it, you open up Q, ask it a question, or you ask...
Yeah, it's kind of back and forth. It's not right for everything.
Check this out. I go ahead and select a lot of my code here. This is a function that gets files. I hit Command I, and I tell it, fix my unwrap or handle it. It takes that code and it generates a change for that in a second. Look at that. Bum, bum, bum. It all of a sudden gives me a little diff.
Wow.
It handles, in my Rust application, it handles my unwrapping of a specific option.
Got it. And then you see the change right there, and you see a diff right there?
Literally, like I said, accept it, boom, accept, done. Check this out. Another thing, select the code, Command I, write a unit test for this. In a second, below this code, pum, 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 you're gonna see a unit code.
That's pretty fast, and I don't like writing tests, so that's really fast. So it seems like Q's snappier now also.
So much faster. This is just fantastic. And again, I love the whole experience of building this. Wonderful.
Yeah, okay, cool. So that's some great improvements on Q. I really like that tactile improvement, so you can make mutations to your code right there in line with a really easy key command, and accept or reject the diff, which is really, really nice. And also I want everybody to know these models are constantly getting better behind the scenes, faster, more capable. The /dev agent is more capable. So be sure to check out the Q changelog. We'll post a link down below because there you can see weekly, more than once a week, the updates we're making to Q. And now that we're in programming language land, why don't we take you to your favorite place, which is I hear you like Rust.
Objectively the best programming language out there, right?
Is it object-oriented?
Objectively the best.
Oh, objectively the best, but not object-oriented. That's kind of a subtle technique. I'll give it to you. I'll grant it.
Yeah.
Okay, what's new?
So, well, first of all, chat, do tell us in the chat below, what is your thoughts on the objectively the best programming language in the world? It's always a great discussion. I'm sure it will be civilized. Well, so here's the thing. Rust is one of my favorite ways to write code. I'm a big fan. I can spend hours on talking why. However, there's this kind of a missing element of Rust, is that the Rust web application is still kind of in its infancy. There are great tools out there, really great use cases like Actix and Rocket and a whole lot of great other things. But I've ran into this cool little Rust web framework. That's the name. It's an open source tool. Somebody built it.
Not from AWS.
Not from AWS. No, somebody made it. Kudos to the authors. We're gonna put the link for the GitHub repo in the chat. It is great. It implements a wonderful model view controller approach to things, right? It's just fantastic. And actually, I'm going to show you some tricks.
Right.
So I'm going to show you a little Rust application here that just runs 2 endpoints. So it's a super simple way for you to instantiate a server, just launch a server straight from the Rust application. So this can run somewhere on a container, on a server, whatever, right?
And looks like you got 2 routes there.
And there's 2 routes. There's a root route and there's this about route. And the way you implement these things is I literally implemented 2 controllers for the root and just outputs something to the screen, and also the about one. And now, of course, supports templating, supports ORM, and also, which is absolutely fantastic, is if you run your application in Python, like WSGI, right, WSGI, or Django, you can actually wrap your Django applications within Rust and run them from the Rust web framework. Fantastic.
Rust gets on everything.
Rust gets on everything.
Okay.
It is not production ready, just so you know. So do take it with a pinch of salt, with a pinch of Rust, but it's definitely a cool thing to keep an eye on.
I like that it's 25 lines or something to get started.
Exactly,
That's
yeah.
nice. Okay, what else is new in open source land?
Okay, so there's this wonderful thing, and I have never thought about this. It was made by the folks at AWS. It is a Git integration for Amazon S3. So I'm going to show you this really cool thing here, where there's a tool called Git Remote S3. And like, sure, okay, store your Git files on S3. That's not the point. It supports LFS, or the large file system for Git, right? A lot of times when we're working with models these days, like for example, you want to go ahead and get the latest Llama 3 model from Hugging Face. Usually comes with a lot of big files.
It's big, yeah.
It's big.
That's big.
And the Git way to do it is to use LFS to offload those files onto some storage instead of...
Yeah, but then I get a whole bunch of files. I'm manually dealing with all that.
Exactly. So there's a way you can install the Git Remote S3 so you can use S3 as an LFS storage. And it is actually really simple. I'm actually going to do it in this application itself. So the way to do it is you go ahead and create a directory on S3. I'm going to show you this to you right now. I'm going to say a directory here. I'm going to go and create a bucket. Not a special bucket, it's a bucket. I'm going to create a directory called Rusty. And then in my application...
ClickOps, ladies and gentlemen.
ClickOps, of course, yeah. Remember, we created a bucket today using CDK. We're doing it now.
Actually, like 10 minutes ago, you told me never to do that.
So, and what you need to do is you need to make sure to install the package using the pip command. It's git install git dash remote dash s3. Once that is installed, you can just run git remote add origin, and then an S3 path, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it's really neat.
You can literally just do the whole S3 bucket here, LFS git Darko, and I can just do like that. And then if I go here and then do Rusty, it's gonna add, well, there's an already thing here. It's gonna add this remote origin as a bucket. And if you go here, you will see that there is a head and the refs and all of the data is here. You're not going to use this as a Git repo, but it's a great way to offload specifically large files.
Yeah, large files like these models are huge. All right, okay, that's pretty cool open source. Now, I heard there's more for web applications in S3, and one of my favorite services, Amplify. What's the news there?
So, you know how S3 is a great place to launch a static website? Sure. Create a bucket, open it to the world, boom. However, making it really good, you would SSL, there's a lot of steps you need to take, right? You need to go ahead and set up a CloudFront distribution, connect all the 2 things, make sure all the domains are correct. So it's fantastic. So what if there was a button? There was a button in the bucket properties that you can click and do that automatically with Amplify.
In Amplify. Which is like a real robust, web application hosting a service from AWS.
So literally there's a bucket on the S3 configuration where you can click a button and connect it directly to Amplify to create a static website application direct to Amplify.
Served out of Amplify, managed in Amplify. Now I can use Amplify to add features to it also?
Yeah, absolutely. So like it just creates this whole thing. Wonderful. It's out right now. Yeah. So you can go and check it out.
Yeah. So this would be like a good migration option for people that started their web development in S3, but really want to move in and graduate in Amplify.
And ultimately we want to give you folks, the developers out there, the simple ability to create, deploy websites, just wonderful.
Yeah. Well, I think Amplify right now is kind of on fire with the whole Gen 2. It's pretty exciting with a TypeScript file on the client side that allows you to specify the backend resources you need. Amplify Gen 2 is really slick. We've seen great takeoff and good community feedback. So excited to see this new S3 sort of entry point. It's a nice way to get started.
Exactly.
Okay, so super excited about what we're seeing with the Amplify Gen 2, and that looks like a cool entry point.
You know, the Amplify is my favorite docs of all things, the best documentation in the world. So thank you,
got
Amplify.
it. Okay, I want to move to something really big that we've had a ton of videos on, a lot of content on, and there's been a lot of activity out in the community in this also, and that's Valkey. So we take a minute, explain to everybody what Valkey is, and then this new service release around Valkey.
Awesome. So Valkey is an in-memory database for all of your super high-speed memory needs. It not only stores memory and data, but it also processes. Sorry, not only stores data in memory, but it also processes data.
Well, memory and data and data in memory. It's
all the kinds of things.
Circle's complete.
So really good, really fast, and it's super useful for caching or just kind of storing data when you need to receive it really fast. For example, like a shopping cart.
Yeah. No, it's basically compatible with Redis, right?
100%. Absolutely.
Yeah, so if I'm familiar with Redis, I basically know what I'm getting into with Valkey.
Specifically, like when you're using it in Python, you're using the Redis client. So it's a drop-in replacement.
Drop-in replacement.
Drop-in replacement. It's also 30% lower on price than Redis.
30% lower in price than Redis.
And we currently have it on both Elasticache and in MemoryDB, which means that if you're needing for your caching needs, like Elasticache is just super great for caching, or if you want something with a slightly more long-term storage, MemoryDB.
Well, hopefully more than just slightly long-term.
Exactly.
MemoryDB is for long-term storage, correct?
Yes,
okay,
exactly.
you got to say that affirmatively. Don't let the people be confused. Okay. So MemoryDB for Valkey, that's a pretty cool release. 30% cheaper. I like that. And Redis compatible. Yep. It's a pretty great open source community. There's been a lot of vendor support, a lot of community engagement around Valkey.
A lot of buzz around Valkey these days.
Yeah.
And you know what? Instead of me talking to you like this right now, let's go to a special demo. We have a special somebody doing a special demo, showing you how this actually is being implemented and how it works in an application.
Thanks, Darko. Now let me show you how you can create a brand new MemoryDB for Valkey cluster and how you can connect to it using the Valkey CLI. Let's get started. From the Amazon MemoryDB console, you can click on Clusters. And from here, you can click on the orange button saying Create Cluster. From here, we are going to choose Easy Create for this demo, and also we're going to use the demo for configuration. Let's name our cluster My Cluster Demo. And here you can also choose the engine. So we're going to select Valkey, but you can also choose Redis. And then you have your subnet groups. So here we're going to create a new one. We're going to give it a name. And this is basically where your cluster is going to be. So also you can choose a VPC. I created a VPC specifically for that cluster. And from here, you can choose your subnets. So right now in this VPC, I only have 2. So I'm going to select all of them. You can also do vector search. It's only at launch, so if you need to check this option, it's not the case for our demo today, so we're just going to create it without it. Now it's going to take a little bit of time, so I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so now that our cluster has been created, let's connect to it using the Valkey CLI. You can only connect to your cluster from the same VPC. So here we're going to need an EC2 instance running Ubuntu, and we're going to connect using the Valkey CLI. So let's run sudo apt install Valkey tools. Yes. And now if we run Valkey CLI, it's trying to connect to localhost, but we want to connect to the database. So let's go back to the console and copy the cluster endpoint to connect to it. So now if we type Valkey CLI -h for host, copy the endpoint, and then -p for port, and it's usually going to be 6379, then -c for cluster, -tls to enable SSL. And there you go. You are connected to your cluster.
Okay, that was a pretty cool demo. Nice to see MemoryDB with Valkey. And we have a lot of content on Valkey out there, yeah. So check out a lot of the videos, and please join that open source community. It's really neat to see all the feedback that the community is given to make Valkey even better. So speaking of communities, the big thing that's coming up soon, and we're counting down the hours here, is Reinvent. Darko, any top exciting things that are coming to Reinvent from your perspective?
I mean, I'm a huge fan of the developer sessions. Anything that starts with dev is my big thing. So definitely excited to see that. You know, Reinvent is full of these great sessions. We can go and learn some stuff, but I love to go ahead and just hang out with the community. So AWS has a huge community, heroes, community builders, and everybody else around it is just amazing. So I am beyond excited to be there, but I'm looking forward to seeing a couple of great sessions. I'm gonna give you two.
Okay.
Dev 205, it is a developer survival kit. It's basically tools for developers beyond the AWS console. So it is presented in part by my good friend and colleague, Curtis. So definitely go and check that out. And there's another one coming from AWS community member Tryon. He's doing a Dev 210, Dev 210. It's avoiding turbulence. That's the name of the session. It's basically how they've built this airline notification service switch using a bunch of different AWS services.
Not metaphorical turbulence, actual turbulence. Okay. Well, I love all this continued energy from AWS on things that really matter to developers, making Rust easy to use, making S3 easy to use for web hosting into Amplify, and making sure the foundation of infrastructure management are just get easier and easier with CDK, so you can build safer, better applications, well-architected applications. We think about that every day, and we want to help you push out to the future. That's where we're making Q the best assistant we can make it with this really nice DX and inline capabilities, and how we hope to take you even further into the future with things like agentic software development. And so please take that free course and let us know what you think. So we're going to keep making the Roundup. Thank you, Darko, for being here today. We got other guests we're going to bring on. We want to make this a true community show. So we're going to be paying attention to all of your comments. And we might not agree with everything. We absolutely will take it to heart because we want to make this for you. So let us know what jumps out at you. Let us know what you want to make more content on. We hope to see you all at Reinvent. And thank you for joining the first episode of the Roundup.
Thank you all. Now let me show you how the borrowing system works.
Okay.
So that's